All right, everyone. So here is our lunch for this Thursday afternoon and day 14, I believe it is, for Eat What You Have. And we're eating ham. We made our own sub sandwiches, and Glenn has his, I can't even talk, had his on a roll. And then I'm just having mine on white bread. So we've got bologna, ham, and salami, along with cheese, lettuce, tomato, Miracle Whip, and mustard. All right, everyone. So it's time for supper on this Thursday and day 14 of Eat What You Have challenge. So my supper, so Glenn is just having leftovers from his pork chop dinner from last night. I am feeling much better today. The scratchy throat is barely there, and the headaches are gone. So feeling good today, and this is what I'm going to make myself for supper tonight. This is what I would have made last night had I felt better, but I'm going to use a combination of leftover stuff, frozen stuff, and food pantry stuff. So what I have in this bag here are the 3 leftover brats from our beer hamburger our you think I could talk? I did say I was feeling better, right? Our beer brats and hamburgers, that's what they were called. But we had 3 left over, so I'm going to go ahead and use those. And what I have here are some frozen bell peppers, and I'm going to just cut some up and put some in my meal. And then I have 3 delicious red potatoes that we got from the food pantry. And I think we got these last week or the week before. And we actually got some more. No, we got some 2 weeks ago, and then we got some last week. So I have these from 2 weeks ago, and then I still have some from last week. So I'm going to use some of this stuff up since Glenn has his own meal and he doesn't like red potatoes. Opportunity for me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut all this stuff up. And some of you had asked, or somebody had asked, how I made my red potato meal. And all I do is cut my potatoes, cut them how you want to. And the only thing that I'm not going to do is put bacon in it because I'm putting brats in it. And the only thing I'm adding to it is bell peppers. So that's how I cut my potatoes, just like that. You can cut them smaller if you'd like. I guess that doesn't matter for me. So that's all I do to cut them. And I leave the skin on. Actually, I think I'm going to cut these smaller. They are pretty big. The bigger they are, the longer it takes to cook them. So I'm just going to cut those a little bit smaller. And stay tuned. The end of this video would be what I have to share with you. So stay tuned for that. That's good. Alright, so I'm going to finish cutting my red potatoes. What I'm going to do with the brats is just cut them in circles and rounds. And just cut up these bell peppers in smaller pieces. And I'll get back with you. Alright, everyone, so I've got everything in here. I ended up using all 3 brats. I figured, well, there's only one left. What are we going to do with it? So it's not going to be enough to feed both of us, so I just used it. That way they all get used. I used the 3 potatoes, and I used some bell peppers. I didn't use like a huge amount of them because I still want to save some of what we have for other meals. But I have enough in there that I could taste them. So, all right. So, and then I put some dabs of butter in there. So for the person who wanted to know how I did my red potatoes the first time, I cut my potatoes just like that. And I fried up some bacon and then chopped it up in little pieces. So I initially just baked my potatoes in a casserole dish with some butter for about an hour or so, depending on how many you make. And once they were just about done, I took it out, threw the chopped up bacon in there, threw the some shredded cheese on top, and then just put it back in enough for the cheese to melt, and that's all there was to it. So I'm going to do the same to this. Once this is done, the potatoes, the brats are pretty much cooked already. They are cooked. You see a little bit of red spot in them, so they didn't get all the way done. So now they're going to cook all the way. So once the potatoes are pretty much done, I'll take it out and do the same thing. Put some cheese on it and throw it back in. So right now I'm just going to season it with salt and pepper. And I'm going to cover it up. So when you do this, cover up your potatoes. That way they cook faster and they don't dry out. So, all right, I'm going to cover this up, get them in the oven. I'll be back when it's done. All right, everyone. So here is my meal for this Thursday night and day 14 of Eat What You Have. As you can see, I put my shredded cheese on there. And before I put the cheese on there, I had it in there for an hour and the potatoes were plenty cooked. And then I just threw the cheese on and put it in for 15 more minutes. I baked everything at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, so there's my meal for tonight. And I'm going to sit down and eat because I am hungry. All right, so stay tuned for what I have to tell you guys. All right, everyone. So here is our morning food pantry haul for this week. So let's get right into it. Over here with the canned goods, we got a can of sliced black olives, a can of albacore tuna. That's actually the tuna we prefer, is the albacore. And then we got 2 cans of tomato soup, a can of cream of mushroom, a can of cream of chicken, 2 boxes of mac and cheese, can of golden sweet corn, and a can of sweet peas. We also got some Pop-Tarts. We actually got a couple more packs than that. We just ate them. And then we got a Kraft pork stick. It's maple and pepper. So I already gave one to Glenn. I got 2 of them. And then we got this bag. There's 5 individually wrapped chicken breasts in there. So that's good. It's always good to get chicken breast. And then we got 2 of the 10-ounce packs of ground beef and a pack of bacon. All right, so that's everything we received at the morning food pantry, and it's all good stuff because we're going to use it all. All right, so let me show you the afternoon food pantry haul. All right, everyone, so here is the afternoon food pantry haul. I apologize if you hear that noise in the background. I'm boiling some water for some sweet tea. All right, so let's get into it. Meats, we actually got 2 of the small ground beef there as well. So we got a total of 4 today. And these are the same ones I showed in the morning food pantry haul, just because they're out and I'm just doing, I should have probably just put everything together. But anyway, we got 4 of these total today. And produce, we got 3 potatoes, 2 avocados, and 2 onions. Canned goods, we got a can of chicken breast, a can of homestyle baked beans, a box of cereal, frosted mini wheats, and a roll of toilet paper. Oh wait, no, there's something else. Let me grab it. Alright, so we also got, well, I did, this Lady Speed Stick underarm alarm, and this bottle of shampoo. I've never seen this before. It's Soft Tea Hydrating Olive Repairing Shampoo, Healthy Shine. It actually has a good smell to it. So this week there was no milk or eggs, so that is why it's important. Even when you don't need them, pick them up, and you can freeze the milk. And the eggs you could probably freeze too if you just crack them open, put them in a container and throw them in the freezer. So, but that is our afternoon food pantry haul, and that's both hauls for today. And let's get to our announcement we want to share with you. All right, everyone, so are you all ready for what I've been wanting to share with you? So none of the guesses were correct. So I'll tell you that right now. All right, it's something you probably wouldn't expect at all, and so let me share this with you. All right, everyone. So here he is. He's our little love bug, and he's the newest member of our family. And I'm going to put him down, but there he is. Gypsy. Well done. So yeah, probably didn't expect that, right? And it's probably no big news to you guys, but it's pretty big to us. So how we came about this wasn't planned at all, but about a week before we brought him in, it was nighttime and Glenn and I were outside. It was dark and we heard little meows. He's a young one. We're not sure how young. We do have a vet appointment in the early part of August. So yeah, we heard these little meows, and there's trees right next to the trailer, dividing the yard between us and a neighbor. And we heard meows coming out of there, and all of a sudden this little one walks through, and I just put something out to feed him, and he was hungry, and he was very sociable. He didn't come up to us the first couple nights, but then he started. Every time he saw me come out, he came out meowing, and he wanted to like rub up against my leg, and very sociable. Little cutie. We named him Patches because the first night we saw him, all we saw was white with all these red patches. So we just started calling him Patches. And on his nose, I didn't know if you saw that as quick as I put him down. I just wanted you to see him because right now, Gypsy now has a playmate, and they're in their play mode right now. Yes, Gypsy and Patches have gotten to be buddies, and they're playing right now. Patches chases Gypsy. Gypsy like nudges him, and yeah, it's a him. And Patches will run after him, and so they'll go through that for a little while, and then Patches has enough, and then he'll just lay down and so yeah, he came through the trees there, and we fed him. And I mean, how could you not, feel bad for them. They're outside trying to survive. And we both thought, man, this one is young. So he kept coming back. And then as the week went on, he actually stayed through the morning, and a part of the day he would hang out there. And even Glenn got really attached to him. He actually let the door open in the trailer, the side door, and the Patches just walked in and jumped on the bed with Glenn. And we both thought, this little one is too sociable. He's got to be domesticated or something. But he didn't have no tags on or no nothing. But so we felt so bad that he was just like out there, and Glenn saw him crossing the street a couple times. We get a lot of like stray cats. Most of them are more independent and they don't want to come around. So, and they all cross the street, they wander the backyards. But this little one was becoming attached to us. Yeah, that's Gypsy. If you hear that, Gypsy running from Patches. Patches wagging his tail and doing the butt shake, stalking Gypsy. So, yeah, every day he got closer and closer to us, and we got more attached to him. We didn't plan this at all, but every time he left, we were so worried about him. We didn't want to see him run over in the street or anything. And what made me feel so bad is that every time I came out, he would come out and like just walk along. He likes to walk in between my feet. And if I'm walking, he's just like right there. So he did that outside as well. So when I walked in the house, he would just sit there staring at the door as I looked through the window in the mudroom, and I just felt so heartbroken to just leave him there, not knowing, what would happen to him when he left. Or we definitely got so attached to him that we would just not forgive ourselves if we didn't bring him in and save his life. And if we saw him, like hit by a car, or he fell prey to another animal, a bigger animal, we would just be heartbroken if we would have never saw him again. And we would have always wondered what happened to him. That's Gypsy whining because Patches is done playing, so he goes to either go under the recliner or he lays on it, and Gypsy's not ready to stop playing yet. So they've got their routines down. So yeah, Glenn and I talked about it, and we said we either bring them in or we detach ourselves, because we were getting so attached to them, and there was no way we could detach ourselves to this little one. We saw he was young. And he's very clean when he was outside. Very clean. And yeah. So we decided to bring him in. We took our cat carrier out there, out to the trailer, and Patches was on the bed already. And we put him in a carrier, and I brought him in the mud room. I didn't want to just put him in the house without properly introducing them to Gypsy, because Gypsy, not knowing how she would react. So I brought the cat carrier with Patches in the mudroom, and then I brought Gypsy on the leash in the mudroom, and we sat there for a while so Gypsy could get used to Patches. And we were out there in the mudroom for a while, and then Gypsy seemed to be okay. So then I brought the cat carrier in the house and just laid it on the floor in the living room and let the other two kitties come around, sniff them, and without being able to attack each other. So now our other two kitties, Blackie and Prissy, they're older now. They're 17 or 18 years old. I think they're 17 and a half now. But they're older, and Prissy didn't even care. They didn't react to it. They didn't try to attack Patches through the carrier. Prissy walked up, sniffed, and walked away. And even as days go by, the other night, Prissy and Patches they were curled up on my computer chair together sleeping. Blackie hissed at him at first, but didn't attack him or anything, just like a hiss, and then Blackie would run away. So Blackie was more, I don't know if it's territorial, but he never tried to attack Patches. But now he's coming around, and he, it's like, okay, whatever. So yeah, I think because they're older now, they just don't care. So yeah, sometimes I'm on the recliner. I got 3 cats and Gypsy over my shoulder in back of the recliner. So they're coming along, and so we've taken on another life. And I know a lot of people will say, well, you can't really afford to do that or whatever, but when it comes to saving the little guy's life, it was more than money. It was saving his life, and now we know he's safe, so we can rest easy knowing he's in the house and he's safe. So Yeah, he's just a little love bug. He's so cute. You know, he follows me everywhere. He's a little love bug, attachable, but independent at the same time. It's like when he wants the affection, it's on his terms. He lets me pick him up and everything. And I want to pick him up on a regular basis just so he gets used to being held. That way, when I take him to the vet, he's not fighting me. And we got a little pet harness, a little cat harness for him, because we thought to maybe take him outside at times, but on a leash, not letting him roam. We've never let our cats roam outside. They've always been indoor cats. That gives us a peace of mind knowing they're okay. And I know a lot of people have indoor, outdoor cats, and you know, that's, they're playing again, but that's just the way we are. But we thought, well, when we go camping or go on rides, what, you know, if we get him used to being on a harness, we could take him with, you know, so he's used to being outside, used to going out, and the harness. So every day I put the harness on him just for a little while, just so he gets used to having that on. And so yeah, it's huge. I mean, it may seem like, oh, you just took in a cat, but it's huge because now we've taken the responsibility of another life. Gypsy's upset because he doesn't want to play. Okay, go lay down. Down. Good girl. Good girl, baby. So yeah. I know a lot of you were expecting something bigger, but to us, this is big. I mean, it felt like the day we first brought in Blackie, Prissy, and their brother Stripey, who's passed a lot of years ago. They were our first set of cats that we brought in from outside 17 and a half years ago. They were actually born under the side-by-side house that we were living in. And all of a sudden we saw like 3 fur balls. So we decided to bring them in one day, and our stomachs were in knots, knowing we just took on the responsibility for the next 20, possibly 20 plus years for these cats. So yeah, when it comes to saving a little one's life, a fur baby's life like that, we're suckers for it. Because we're animal lovers, and we've always said if we had tons of money, we would save as many animals as we can. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you. Yeah. So we just left them as name Patches. We were going to ask for name suggestions, but he's actually within a few days of being in the house, he actually started responding to it, so we didn't want to change it up. So yeah, we called the vet for an appointment right away, just to, you know, give him a visual, physical look at him and see if there's anything the vet feels that may be wrong, or so far so good. And but they couldn't get us into like August 5th. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share with you guys. We got a new kitty and a new addition to the family. His name is Patches. We don't know how old he is. He looks very young. He's very energetic, but he likes his naps too. So I'm hoping the vet can give us a kind of an idea of how old he is. And so yeah. Welcome Patches to our family, and he's going to have a good life with us. So, and now we don't have to worry about him not knowing what happened to him outside. So no regrets, and we'll make it work. All right. So that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch my videos. I appreciate all of you and the support you give this channel. And with that, remember to live life, be good to yourself, and be good to others. Until next time.